Well, hello, totally not a ripoff of clocks. But that aside, who exactly is O'Melveny? Otherwise known as O'Melveny and Myers LLP, it is a law firm with a very prestigious pedigree. Founded in 1885, it has sported such high-profile partners as former U.S. Secretary of State Warren Christopher, former National Security Advisor Thomas E. Donilon, and former White House counsel Arthur B. Culverhouse, as well as a litany of past associates who have moved on to become federal judges. Obviously a very high-class and influential institution in the legal world. Heck, they even got name-dropped on The Sopranos.
You know what's going on here, right? He fucked up his six-figure future with O'Melveny and Myers when he blew the Junior Soprano trial.
So what does this famous and storied institution want to talk to us about today? Pipeline, recruiting, retention, and professional success. This is your vision. Got it.
The long-range goal of all of our diversity and inclusion programs is that everyone can come to O'Melveny and feel a sense of belonging and a sense of opportunity, that this is a place where they can pursue their professional ambitions without any artificial restraints.
Aha! Diversity and inclusion programs. To make everyone feel comfortable, feel like they belong, and have a sense of opportunity. Well, that all sounds fine. So far.
But another aspect of our diversity and inclusions is, quite frankly, numerical and data-driven.
Oh, numerical and data-driven. Okay.
We know that the legal industry as a whole, and O'Melveny is no exception, is not where we would like to be on diversity and inclusion. And we work very hard to try and improve those numbers by focusing on the pipeline of people who may eventually apply to O'Melveny, our recruiting efforts, our retention efforts once we do recruit people to the firm, and ensuring that we have a diverse population of people who are succeeding professionally at the firm.
So there's not enough diversity in the legal profession and at your own firm, so on a numerical and data-driven basis, you aim to change that by bringing in more diverse people. So you're operating on a quota system based on diversity. I look forward to hearing your definition of diversity.
More and more clients repeatedly tell me how important it is that the law firm they hire is diverse, and how important it is that their own institution is diverse.
And diverse means?
And so it's becoming more and more a conversation that I have with clients, with prospective clients. It's important. We do a disservice to ourselves as attorneys who are serving clients by not reflecting the full panoply of the beautiful American experience, which is, it's a brown one, and it's a female one, and it's an LGBT experience.
Brown, female, LGBT. The elements of diversity. So, on a numerical and data-driven basis, you're looking to recruit people into your law firm using race, gender, and sexual orientation as decision points. Got it.
In order to increase our pool of diverse candidates and get more people interested in the law, we have to reach folks not just who are in law school already, but future lawyers, future generations of college students who may, either because they never thought about it, because they may not have been exposed to it, or other factors in their lives which don't put them within the orbit or this kind of exposure that allows people to start thinking about the possibilities for themselves.
So you're focusing your recruitment efforts on young people early in their scholastic careers, young people who meet your criteria in regards to irrelevant factors of their makeup. Got it.
So I'm a rising law student at Berkeley Law, actually. So I've not yet started law school, but I will be this fall. And so I'm actually spending my summer with O'Melveny through the SEO program.
The SEO Law Fellowship offers talented incoming law school students of color the opportunity to work at a top law firm during the summer before law school. So, an internship opportunity restricted to men and women based on their skin color. Got it.
When I start law school this fall, I'm walking in with a wealth of knowledge, not only in terms of how to be a legal professional, but also in terms of how to succeed in law school.
And apparently, one of the lessons to be learned when it comes to succeeding in law school is having the correct appearance.
The Coleman Fellowship is a program where 1Ls can apply to become summer associates at O'Melveny because typically it's for 2Ls. So we are coming out of our first year in school. They're looking for commitment to diversity and inclusion and activities that represent that.
Named after former O'Melveny senior partner, former U.S. Transportation Secretary, and civil rights pioneer Bill Coleman, the William Coleman Fellowship is for first-year law students who demonstrate a commitment to diversity and inclusion. I'm assuming that's what the lingo 1L and 2L means, first or second-year law student. But, okay, how does one demonstrate a commitment to diversity and inclusion given the provided definition so far? Do you simply need to possess one or more of the important characteristics? Or do you need to be one of the people discriminating on the basis of those characteristics?
And I think all the more when you're working on the kinds of complex problems that O'Melveny works on, you need different backgrounds, different viewpoints.
Backgrounds? Viewpoints? That's not what I was told.
The beautiful American experience, which is, it's a brown one, and it's a female one, and it's an LGBT experience.
Pymetrics is a game-based recruiting tool that evaluates a candidate's potential for future success by comparing their game results to an O'Melveny success model. Candidates' results are generated without taking into account race, ethnicity, or gender, helping to override the implicit biases that can occur during the recruiting process. Wait a second. Let's review.
But another aspect of our diversity and inclusions is, quite frankly, numerical and data-driven. And we work very hard to try and improve those numbers.
The beautiful American experience, which is, it's a brown one, and it's a female one, and it's an LGBT experience.
The SEO Law Fellowship offers talented incoming law school students of color the opportunity to work at a top law firm during the summer before law school. So, I guess my question is, given the introductory filters you already have in place, and given the numerical goals you intend to reach using those filters, why bother making a point of setting aside race, ethnicity, or gender, or claiming an intent to avoid bias, when bias is exactly what you are using to hire people? This part wouldn't be hypocritical window dressing now, would it?
O'Melveny's Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Academy, it really meant a lot to me. It was extremely thoughtful and well organized, and it provided all the attorneys across all of the O'Melveny offices the opportunity to come together, share ideas, and discuss ways that O'Melveny could improve its diversity and retain diverse candidates.
O'Melveny's Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Academy brings our lawyers of color and LGBT lawyers together for a program designed to help for a future, more diverse and inclusive O'Melveny. A more diverse and inclusive future by offering professional development opportunities to people based on their race or sexual orientation. Got it. Also, What steps are taken by the firm to verify someone's sexual orientation or gender status? I would be very curious to know.
People would be sharing ideas. You would hear something and say, "Oh, that's really cool," and then you look next to you, and there is someone in firm leadership who was there, actively participating and having the same reaction. So it's not just like it was a closed universe of people who were sharing ideas with themselves. We were sharing ideas with folks who make decisions at the firm, and that was, I think, a really powerful component of the Diversity Academy.
Actually, it was a closed universe of people. People assessed as having more value and or needing more help on the basis of their race and sexuality.
I walked in a little late to this huge ballroom where the academy was taking place. And it was filled. It was filled with attorneys from all sorts of different offices. And it was filled with attorneys that I actually looked like.
That is important to you. Being around people you look like. Got it.
And I think it was the first time in my O'Melveny career that I didn't feel like an outsider, or I didn't feel like I was an exception to the rule. And that was an incredible feeling.
Well, your feelings aside, as far as I can tell, you are certainly not an exception. Rather, you embody the rules at O'Melveny. Literally.
I think employee networks are definitely the face of diversity and inclusion at O'Melveny.
Employee networks? Are we talking about employee resource groups? Oh boy, ERGs! They're my favorite.
I know my employee network alone, between myself, my co-chair, and our members, probably attended between 30 and 40 different events or engagements with respect to O'Melveny's diversity and inclusion efforts.
O'Melveny's employee networks are groups of employees who organize themselves on the basis of some common personal characteristic or life experience, such as gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, age, parenting, or being first-generation attorneys. Groups welcome both constituents and allies. So, in order to promote diversity and inclusion, you encourage there being subgroups of employees divided by intrinsic elements or attributes, and then further divided as either constituents or allies. All in the name of diversity and inclusion. Got it.
Specifically, we attended speaking engagements, mentoring opportunities, resume workshops, mock interviews. And I think doing these type of activities really sets an example to not only the other attorneys at the firm and would encourage them to participate, but it also sets an example to prospective law students and other law firms to show, what type of place O'Melveny is to work and why it's so special.
I wonder what the social and professional consequences might be at O'Melveny if someone were to decline reducing themselves down to a demographic in the name of diversity and inclusion.
The Women's Employee Network provides a lot of opportunities for younger women in the firm to get client interaction, which I think is a really special part of these networks.
So without this women's network, young women at the firm would not have any client interaction? Just by default of working at the law firm? I'm honestly confused.
So our events focus around our internal mentorship opportunities and connections, as well as our connections to alumni. So women who have practiced at O'Melveny and then left to go to a client, left to be a judge, left to be a law professor. And then also with just our women clients who we work with on a day-to-day basis, but don't necessarily get to socialize with very much.
So, your women's network is a gender-exclusive resource and social club for both employees and clients, so long as everyone is female. Got it.
With the strength of our culture and with a leadership team that's willing to invest the resources in the things that we need to do to improve, I'm absolutely certain that we'll continue to make progress this year and next year and years to come. And the bottom line for us is we're just not going to stop until we get things where we want them to be.
And progress and getting to where you want to be is assessed using what again?
The beautiful American experience, which is, it's a brown one, and it's a female one, and it's an LGBT experience.
But another aspect of our diversity and inclusions is, quite frankly, numerical and data-driven. And we work very hard to try and improve those numbers.
Professional success for us is the same as professional success for our clients.
So you also use gender, race, and sexuality to decide which clients you'll take on? Or am I misunderstanding?
And our clients care about diversity and inclusion more today than they ever have. It is a true client imperative. We have succeeded by being really intentional about how we staff matters, and that really matters for our clients.
Oh, now, I sincerely believe that your staffing decisions are intentional. The testimony thus far has left me with nothing akin to reasonable doubt.
And when we're intentional about how we staff matters, we get attorneys who are engaged with clients, who understand their business, who know their lawyers, and who can really succeed at those clients. When we succeed with a client, we succeed internally, and it's a win-win.
In summation, it continues to baffle me just how comfortable companies and organizations are becoming in announcing to the world that they value identity politics over skill. That they're happy to conjure a professional value in color and genitals and who you happen to sleep with. But more so to see it trumpeted by a law firm who touts its connections to civil rights law and yet is apparently happy to ignore those very same laws when it comes to recruitment, retention, and professional success at their own firm. In a world where even lawyers are allowed to turn back the clock on over 60 years of civil rights jurisprudence, what hope do the rest of us have? As always, thank you for watching.